You're listening to the 7 Minutes with Q podcast. Today on the show, we're going to talk about wine. That's it. Everybody knows they love wine. Today on the show, we have Cristóbal from Sur Valle Wine out in Chile. If these stories resonate with you, like, subscribe, leave a comment, reshare. Remember, we want to grow independent of the big platforms. So support us at www.bootleglikejazz.com. Cristóbal, welcome to the 7 Minutes with Q podcast, man. Thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for inviting me. And I had a chance to listen to your podcast. So that was a very interesting experience.
I fell in love with wine when I lived in France, okay? Tell me about yourself. How did you kind of fall in love with wine?
I fell in love with tennis, to be honest. And that's the first thing that I did. I played tennis since I was 4 years old in Chile. And then I came in a tennis scholarship to the University of Toledo in Ohio. And so I did not get to wine until I was about 27 years old. But to be very precise, my family has always been part of this because my father loves wine, my grandfather loves wine, and we're from the region where the wine comes from, which is called Curicó, which means the land of the black waters. And the story behind that is that because it rains so much during winter, all the mud that comes from the Andes Mountains, then the indigenous people that live there, they said, oh, let's just look at all these black waters. So that's how they call it. But really what it means is that we have so much richness and minerals in those lands. And that's the reason why wine grows so well in Curicó.
Let's just talk basic 101, wine. Yeah. 101. How do you make wine? That's
awesome. So I'll make it very quick to you. But basically what you do is right now we're in the middle of the harvest. So you bring all these beautiful grapes that we have in 3 different valleys. So, we have Curicó, we have Maule, we have Colchagua Valley, where we actually grow these beautiful grapes. And then we bring them to our facility in Curicó at the plant. And we have amazing winemaker, Benoit Fire, with his colleague Eloisa, Filipa. And then what they do is they convert these beautiful grapes into wine. They go through a process where the actual grapes, they are converted into alcohol. But so what I was mentioning is that this passion that the family Achurra, who own this winery, they have put a lot of time in this. They actually founded the winery in 1961. And then they brought these 3 different valleys. We bring the grapes to the facility and then they convert it into alcohol. The better grapes, though, they are put into barrels. We actually happen to have one of the biggest barrel room in Chile. We have 7,300 barrels at our winery, which is called Sur Valles Wine Group in Curicó. And then the best wine are really stored there and aged in oak barrels. They could be American or French oak, and they could be there anywhere from 3 months and all the way to maybe even 2 years. And the better wines are aged 2 years. So this is an example, Toro de Piedra, which is our favorite wine. This is what is aged most of the time.
What does it mean, Toro de Piedra?
Toro de Piedra, stumble. And so, it's in Houston, and you'll have some bottles very soon. So anyways, Toro de Piedra, stumble, is an actual sculpture. You can see it. So there's a sculptorist, Palolo Valdés. He actually created this sculpture. The famous Chilean sculptorist, Palolo Valdés, he finds rocks, or he looks for rocks in rivers, and where he finds rocks that actually are similar to a shape of an animal, and he just picks them up, and then he forges these rocks into a sculpture. So that's what he did. As you can see, it's not a perfect shape because they're made out of rocks. And so that's what it is, stumble. And
it takes a lot of patience.
Oh, a lot. And there is a
lot of patience.
And there is a huge Toro de Piedra sculpture at the winery on the top of the hill, the Requingua Hill. But the story ends with the owner of the winery, the founder, Don Santiago Achurra. He actually bought this sculpture and he came up with the idea of putting the name Toro de Piedra into the brand. And today it's a huge brand.
What kind of challenges did you face, moving from tennis to wine? And pursuing the things that you're pursuing? What were some of those challenges for you?
The biggest challenge, without getting emotional, was really when I was really young. When I was 13, I left home. I left Curicó. I left my family, and for sure that's the hardest part of my life. I mean, there's nothing that can compare to being apart from my family. As you can see, they're there in Chile, and I miss them every single day. Now I have my family here in Miami, my wife, my daughter Florencia, Sarah is my wife, but also I have a child that is going to be born in a few days, a little Cristóbal. So, you know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know.
How do you stay ready for that competition?
Well, that's the fun part, because since I competed since I was 4 or 5 years old, I feel like it's part of my nature just to go out there here in the US and present our wines, and really the competition out there is tremendous. But we have a great team in Chile, so we can definitely make it happen. But I do think that one of the biggest challenges, the transition from playing tennis and competing and then coming to a US, although, like I said, it was natural, the language, that was the most difficult thing, because when I came to the US, I had no idea how to speak English, and that was really difficult. But I do think that was the hardest part.
Thank you so much. Where can people find you online?
Find me or find the wine?
Both.
Okay, so find me, Cristóbal Toral, in Instagram. So there you go, Cristóbal Toral in Instagram. And the wine is Vinos Toro de Piedra. That's where you can find our wines. And in person, you can find Toro de Piedra at all the stores in Texas, especially in the Smith one in downtown.
If these stories resonate with you, subscribe, like, turn on notifications, reshare. Go to the website www.bootleglikejazz.com and subscribe and support there. Remember, we want to grow independent of the big platforms.